Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you'll know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Ladies and gents, almost UGXN, and this is the Pig War Part 2, I guess, by the channel OverSimplified. Yes, so far we've seen how basically between America and Britain, right, at the earlier times, during the dispute of, I guess, territories between Canada and USA. Canada was, I guess, controlled by Britain at the time. So basically the border dispute basically turned out to be a dispute of an island, because when the people came up with this, agreement that basically territories should go like this, they didn't really check that is there anything, I guess, causing an issue there. Like, okay, if we are thinking of a certain river, canal, whatever, is there something that could be disputed? Should we word things more, I guess, carefully? No, they just, I guess, said it, the straight line from here to there, that's it. They didn't see if there is islands there or what. This is why there is an actual place which is basically connected to the land of Canada. But because how the line is straight, it's part of United States. So if they want to go anywhere else, they have to go through Canada and go back into the USA again, which kind of feels weird. And it's a small, really small place. There you go. It's in this image. There you go. So if they have to go through Canada and then here, which is fucking weird. But yeah, that's what happened. So the dispute started, and clearly somebody did shoot a pig, right? Somebody shot a pig, and that's all the reason needed, because Canada and USA both are occupying this island. Nobody is basically, giving up the claim that is this American land, is this, British land, whatever. So both sides' tensions are basically high, and anybody just need an excuse, and somebody shot a pig, and that's it. I guess that's all the excuse we need, because in the end, it's not about pig, right? It's just an excuse. So I guess the war is going to start now. We'll see how big of a war it's going to turn out to be, because, this is pretty later on, like, 18-minute mark, when I realized that, okay, this war is going to start because somebody shot a pig. Up until there, I didn't even realize that the title is the Pig War, because I even forgot that. I thought, oh, it's about Canada-USA thing, Britain versus USA thing. Oh, wait a minute, it's about pig. They shot a pig, what the fuck? Let's watch it.
Of Oregon, one William S. Harney. This guy, General Harney, had a reputation. He's the kind of guy who invades Mexico without orders, wasting valuable resources and creating an embarrassing situation for everyone involved. He's the kind of guy who has one of his own men arrested for writing the wrong header on a report. He's the kind of guy who finds a dog digging up his yard and then chases it for 1.5 miles just to give it a beating. He hated superiors, hated being told what to do, and had been court-martialed 4 times for disobeying orders.
Like, I don't want to pause so soon, but let's understand one thing. This is earlier times when America was formed. Even federal governments weren't that strong at the time, if there were one any. They basically created United States for, states' freedom and individual freedom, right? That was pretty strong at that time. So central government felt like, okay, maybe government shouldn't tell state what to do, and it was much stronger at that time. So when you have that kind of mentality, when you form a country like that, knowing that we just got away from the Britain and European countries, basically, knowing that anything that resembles an empire like Britain, they would be like, oh, what the fuck, we are not like that. So it's not far-fetched to think that certain individual didn't care about the superiority of other people. Following orders, just did things with their own group. One state basically doing something without telling other states or something like that. Or one individual group doing something without telling anybody, or, getting permission or something. That's not really that far-fetched to think of the time.
Contemporaries described him as an imbecile. All matter and no mind, an
Imbecile.
arrogant humbug, and a laughingstock. Like I said, General Harney had a reputation. He hated the British and was out for any opportunity to earn personal glory for himself. By some accounts, he even wanted to become president. And so, in July 1859, when he happened to visit San Juan Island, and he learned of the plight of the Americans living there, the shooting of a pig, and the British threat to arrest Lyman Cutler, General Harney went into scheme mode. Hey yo, Captain Pickett. Yes, sir. Listen carefully. I need you to go pick up some flowers and bring them to my place later. I've got a plan. Here I am, sir. What's the plan? Pickett, you and I are going to start a war. What do you mean, sir? Okay, listen up. An American man shoots a worthless
What's in the
pig on
flower?
San Juan Island, and the British threaten to arrest him. Outrageous. But we can use it. We get the settlers there to send us a petition saying they need American troops for protection. That's when you go with your men and occupy the island. The British will find American troops on an island they consider theirs so offensive, they won't hesitate to blow you to smithereens. Then, it's war. We bring in reinforcements and we fight back. I'll write to Washington, D.C., letting them know what's happening. But here's the kicker. My letter will take 6 whole weeks to get there. Before the government even gets a chance to respond, telling me I'm an idiot and ordering me to cease fire,
Another
the
6
island
weeks?
will be ours. Hell, we could even invade Vancouver Island or British Columbia. It's foolproof. Wow, very impressive, sir. But I gotta ask, why? Well, I'll level with you, Pickett. Historians still contest exactly what it is I'm trying
After all that, why? What do you mean why? Why would you do that? Why would you mean? Why would we not? What's the kind of stupid question that is why?
to do here. It's possible I'm trying to expand America's territory. Maybe I'm trying to play the hero so I can become president. Some have even suggested that since I'm a slave-owning Southerner, I may be trying to create a diversion to help the South secede in the upcoming Civil War. But if there's one thing that almost everyone can agree on, it's that I'm an idiot. I see. But
Pick one.
hold on, what'd you tell me to bring flowers for? Because, Pickett, they're pretty and I like them! There are also historians who believe that Harney and Pickett had no secret plan at all, and were not scheming masterminds, but simply hot-headed buffoons,
Yeah.
genuinely outraged at the audacity of the British, and trying to protect American citizens. But the fact of the matter is,
It's like that thing. Certain people just want war because that's what all they know, right? So it's not really being a buffoon. It's just that, like, you know, fighting British, right? Living the life, right, on the battlefield. Maybe that's all they care about. So war. Why wouldn't we do war? I mean, why do we need a reason? It's war. I mean, against Britain. Why wouldn't we do that? That kind of thing.
Pickett took the very controversial and extremely provocative act of landing American troops on disputed territory. He set up his camp in a very exposed position and erected a very provocative sign proclaiming that only American laws applied on the island. It was almost like he was asking to be fired upon. Or, again, maybe he was just an idiot. When a British official sent to the island to get rid of the unruly American settlers now saw that there were American
Look at
troops,
that.
he demanded they leave. He was obviously told to go suck an egg. When Douglas found out, he was enraged. To him, the American landing constituted an invasion. Harney sent a report back to the War Department in D.C., justifying his actions with exaggerated claims of British villainy. But he knew it would take 6 weeks to get there, and another 6 weeks for their reply to come back. For now, the situation was entirely in the hands of local military and government officials, and the ball was in the British court. Would the temperamental Governor Douglas and the powerful British Navy respond to the American provocation with force? Were Britain and America really about to go to war over the shooting of a pig? Well, if one man were to have his way, it's entirely possible they would. James Douglas had already had Americans force him out of Oregon. They had threatened his position in Victoria during the gold rush. Now they had invaded his island, and he had had it. It was time to turn to the Royal Navy. You, Captain Hornby, go to the island and prevent any more Americans from landing. And take this magistrate with you to arrest Captain Pickett. Use force if necessary. Just don't do anything to start a war. Wait, you want me to use force but not start a war? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. Do you want me to do magic as well? What the fuck do you mean use a force but don't start a war? How does that work? As soon as he uses force, that's a war.
Princess! When Captain Hornby got to the island and saw that the American force there was even larger than expected, his concern grew. He sent word back to Douglas, who in response ordered even more ships to the island. And at this point, the naval officers were like, "Hey man, let's talk." They were concerned Douglas's escalation was leading them to war, and they convinced him it probably wasn't a terribly good idea to just go up to an American military captain with his armed men and say, "Hey bucko, you're under arrest. Please don't shoot me." Douglas gave in. To prevent any hostilities, he cancelled all orders and told the Navy, for now, to simply keep an eye on the Americans. He did send one more ship for good measure. Captain Pickett, now seeing the British ships with their guns aimed directly at his exposed camp, said, "See, Jeff? Look at that. We're about to get blown to bits, all according to plan." Hang on. "Oh crap, Jeff, we're about to get blown to bits! Run!" Pickett hastily moved his camp from its very exposed position to another position, which...
Oh god, I hope it went like that, because that just was what kind of a blithering idiot he was. He's like, oh, the plan is perfect. He's gonna blow us to bits, they're gonna start a war and go and win. Wait a minute, blow us to bits? I'm gonna be there? What the fuck?
As it happened, was also very exposed. It probably won't surprise you to learn Pickett came dead last in his graduating class. Nearby American and British officials began showing up to ask Pickett what the heck he was even doing. Then, a bunch of tourists showed up, because a major war breaking out in their doorstep was the single most exciting thing to ever happen in any of their miserable frontier lives. One Charles Griffin was particularly unhappy. First his pig had been shot. Now his sheep pastures were being trampled by soldiers and tourists alike. He complained to Governor...
You know your war is already fucked when tourists are seeing it as some kind of a spectacle. Like, that's not how the real major war happens. Real major war has a real terror to it, right? Real, terrifying thing people stay away from. Not just go there, oh, look at that. Just like it happened few decades ago. Another major war is coming. Let's take photograph. Yeah, you're already done.
Douglas, who was still pretty upset about the whole thing. Douglas felt British honor itself was at stake. So he decided that if American forces were allowed to be on the island, well then by golly, the British should be there too. It would be a joint military occupation. Upon hearing Douglas's new plan to land British troops on the island, Captain Hornby decided to go speak with Pickett in person. After informing him of the plan, Pickett replied that if they dared land, he would open fire. So there they were. The British had orders to land. The Americans had orders to prevent their landing. This was it. War. Over a small island in the middle of nowhere.
See, that's the best thing about this. Americas at the time, like I said, were not really central government ties, right? I mean, they were a president and everything. But around this time, it wasn't that strong of thing. So individual groups, right? Basically are, doing certain aggressive things like this. This two people, basically, from American side is doing this, while entire America and Washington, none of them know shit about this. But in Britain represent one singular empire at the time, which was kind of strong, right? So it's like entire Britain is represented by one guy who basically answers to everybody else. So basically it's America versus Britain, but not really. It's like Britain versus a few of the American guys, right? And obviously the whole country as America, the president, everybody, they will think things through. But, small, platoon of, soldiers or whatever, they can be hotheads like this. So aggression is happening like this. Americans don't care. They want to do war because it's just few people, right? It's not the entire government. Britain, from the British Empire, they don't want to do war. Obviously, they don't, just like American government wouldn't. But, the British government, trying to stay away, but sudden aggressive thing is happening that they can't completely stay away. So it will come to blow because one side just have some blithering idiot while the entire country is unaware of it. One side, British Empire, is basically, trying to calm things down because obviously they also don't want war, but they can't just completely back away. So this war is basically going to happen because of a fucking pig. That's what's going to happen here.
Over a pig and some potatoes. Over whether the US-Canada border looked like this or like this. It was stupid. Hold on. This is stupid. To heck with it. I'm not landing those troops. I'm not gonna be the one who starts a war. The captain decided not to follow Douglas's order. And good thing he didn't, because pretty soon after that, the leading British admiral in the entire Pacific region showed up. Rear Admiral Baines outranked Governor Douglas. When he heard of everything that had been going on, he was stunned. But when he heard that Hornby had refused Douglas's plan to land troops, Baines could have kissed him. Whether he did or not, history doesn't tell. But I like to think they did. The Rear Admiral canceled all of Douglas's orders and instead pursued a policy of not interfering with the Americans until he could contact the British government. The Americans, not knowing the British no longer intended to land, had sent reinforcements and began fortifying. But even still, the British Navy did nothing. And finally, when word made it across the
There you
planet, informing the two governments of the ongoing crisis, everyone was shocked. Holy crap! Harney landed troops on disputed territory? Man, I hope the British don't find out about this. Buchanan? Oh crap! The British! Why are we getting reports of American troops on San Juan Island? Whoa. I don't know, man. Nothing to do with me. But you're the president. What? Breckenridge? Am I the president? Yes, sir. And hey, we got a problem. It looks like the southern states are considering seceding.
There
and
you
we're
go.
headed for the biggest crisis in the history of the nation. And it's
Did he just
your
back
job
off?
to fix it, sir. Sir? Oh no. Go away. Not the curtain again, Mr. President. I'm not here. Buchanan. Back in the Pacific Northwest, Harney was beginning to realize the government may not be terribly impressed with his reckless actions. So he began firing off even more aggressive letters, justifying what he had done. Tell him the British were sending bands of Indians to attack our men, and that they're big meanies with coal for hearts, and that they made me cry like a little girl. Wait, no, that makes me sound weak. They made me cry like a big girl. Yeah, that's it. When the president received Harney's new letters, his anxiety only grew stronger. Oh, crap. Hey, General Scott, please make this go away. Leave it to me, sir. General Winfield Scott was the commanding general of the entire U.S. Army. Well known for his
shit.
negotiation skills, he was a veteran of the Mexican-American War, during which time he had to deal with General Harney's idiocy and insubordination. And he watched as Harney got away with it all, thanks to his friends in high places. It's safe to say that Scott really did not like General Harney. By now, General Scott was racked with gout, and he was so big he had to be hoisted onto his ship in a basket.
Oh my
Nevertheless,
God.
he began the long journey to the Pacific Northwest. Okay, everyone, get over here. Will somebody please tell me what the heck is going on? I'll tell you, General. It all started on one fateful day last summer. Spuddy? All right, you damn dirty pig. That's the final straw. What? Hey, you can't get away from me! Oh, look at that pig. Nowhere left to run, eh? I'm gonna enjoy this.
Lyman, if you spare my life, I grant you 3 wishes.
This is America, bitch.
So you see, General, the pig wasn't even on
That's
his
better, what
property
is that?
when he shot it. Liar! He's lying to you, General. I'll tell you what really happened. What a pleasant summer's afternoon here on my humble farm. It's just me and my beloved potatoes. I'm so happy. Say, Lyman, them some nice spuds you got there. Would be a shame if somebody ate them. No, not again, you
That face,
beast.
that
Leave
face.
my potatoes alone. Yeah, I'm gonna eat them, Lyman. I'll eat them, and then I'm gonna eat you. Stay back! I'll shoot! Go ahead, punk. Make my day. Shoot me! Shoot me! He made me do it! He made me do it! So you're telling me you guys nearly started a war with the strongest naval power in the world over the shooting of a pig? Yeah, now he's starting to get it. Not only the pig, sir. The British then threatened to arrest this poor, pure American soul. Thank you, General. Shut up. I don't care about you. Okay, I've made up my mind. You're an idiot. 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 You guys are fine. And you two are the most mind-numbingly brain-dead ding-dongs I've ever encountered in all my life. And I'll see you in my office. Okay, Harney, listen. I cut a deal with the Brits. Here's how it's gonna be. Both sides will maintain a small force on the island for a joint military occupation until our two governments can decide who owns the island. Now, the only way they'd agree to that is if Pickett is removed from command, so I'm replacing him with Captain Hunt here. Now, Harney, listen to me. Do not, under any circumstances, put Pickett back on that island, okay? I mean it, Harney. Do not order Pickett back onto the island. Understood? Yes, sir. Good. I'll see you, Glebos, later.
And
Is he gone? I think so. Good. Hunt, you're fired. Pickett, you're going back on the island. All right, you psychopath. I've been waiting years for this. I hate you. I've always hated you. Harney had not only ordered Pickett back onto the island, but his department even...
Okay, I'd like to take a moment and say the OverSimplified quality even went up in this video. This has been awesome. The timing, the jokes, it's just perfection.
notified the British that it did not recognize the joint occupation settlement, while everyone else had decided on peace. Harney appeared to still be threatening war. Needless to say, a furious Winfield Scott soon removed him from command and sent him elsewhere. In Harney's absence, the joint occupation went ahead, and the troops actually got along together quite well. The British attended 4th of July celebrations at the American camp, while the Americans visited the British for Queen Victoria.
Alright, we are British and you're Americans. Beer? Yeah, beer. Everyone just got along, like, fuck it. Why would we give a shit now? Let's just drink beer, man.
Victoria's birthday. Even Pickett became good friends with his British counterpart. War, it seemed, had been avoided, thanks largely to the level-headed actions of the Royal Navy and General Winfield Scott. Of course, the islands were still in dispute, and the question of who exactly owned them still had to be answered. That answer would have to wait, because while San Juan was at peace, the nation was tearing itself apart.
There you go.
When civil war broke out in 1861, the issue of San Juan just wasn't that important. Harney, despite being a Southerner, remained in the U.S. Army, but was eventually removed from command at St. Louis when his loyalty to the Union came under suspicion. More famously, Captain Pickett, a native Virginian, went on to become a Confederate general. Pickett's charge at the Battle of Gettysburg remains one of the most famous moments of the entire war and marked a major turning point. U.S. relations with Britain actually soured during the war. The British, missing their supply of southern cotton, initially looked like they may intervene on the side of the Confederacy. There was the Trent Affair, when Confederate diplomats were discovered and arrested on a British mail steamer. And then there were the British-built ships, sold to the Confederacy, that wreaked havoc on northern commerce. When the Civil War ended, furious American politicians called on the British to pay reparations. And by now, a long list of hot issues existed between them. And yes, on that list remained, 12 years later, still the issue of who owned these gosh darn islands. That issue, it was finally agreed, would be submitted to international arbitration. The Empire of Germany would decide, with the British and Americans presenting arguments. The American argument was reportedly presented with a little more pizzazz, a little more zing. And in the end, when the Germans made their decision, they awarded the San Juan Islands to the United States. When an aging Douglas heard the news, he said that there was no possible way the British argument had been presented correctly. But that was that. The British conceded, and on the 25th of November, 18...
So let me get this. The Germans are like, whoever can dance better gets the island, and Americans dance better, and there you go, they have the island, right? And after that, after a few decades, I guess Britain and America went against Germany for war, in world wars.
72, the last British troops left the island. As the Americans entered the British camp to raise their flag, they found that the British had removed the flagpole. One last up yours to Uncle Sam. By this time, Charles Griffin had already left the island, and the Hudson's Bay Company eventually sold their sheep farm. And so, there you have it. A dangerous situation that almost brought two great powers to war, triggered by the shooting of a pig. But thanks to more level-headed minds and an eagerness for peace and cooperation, conflict was avoided, and the only casualty of this pig war was, well, just a pig. But how different could things have been? What if the British had attempted to arrest Pickett? What if they...
This should be called the pig confrontation or something like that. This is not a war. There was never a war. War never broke out.
Landed troops. Could the two sides have actually gone to war?
Yeah.
Could America have invaded Canada? Could it, perhaps, still invade Canada?
Come on, man. That would be bombs if that happens. Alright. Yeah, there could have been a war, easily. But would have they invaded Canada? No, I think the people in power would have eventually come together like, okay, this is ridiculous. We need to stop. Ceasefire, right? I mean, wars can be fought over stupid things just for ego. I mean, that's understandable. But seriously, like I said, American side, the central government was unaware of it. Certain hot-headed people were representing the entire country. That is already fucked up because by then it's just like psychopaths representing an entire thing. They don't see reason or anything. But British side, they were aggressor, but they were basically answering to the whole empire. So they were kind of being level-headed. And the people who were basically, I guess, in charge realized that, okay, you know what, fuck it, I'm not starting a war. Then the main guy comes, rear admiral, he's like, okay, that's a good thing you didn't start the war. Then the real people in power in America realized that, send a real general then, just say like, you all are fucking idiots, and war stopped. So actually that is a surprising part, that people were actually level-headed and smart in this case, because it's a ridiculous event of the past where even the people who should be smarter or many times are not, right? Just starts war over some ridiculous things. So if anything, this was actually a smart thing. The pig war never happened because people in power were actually smarter this time. They didn't start war over some pig. Because let's be honest, this ego comes in a way many times. An island is easier way to start a war, right? And pig is just an excuse. Anybody would use it, but they didn't. That's a great thing.
Think about it. Why not? We have the manpower. We have the arms. It's our manifest destiny. Picture a future where American Mounties wear red, white, and blue and hail the stars and stripes. Where Wayne Gretzky would wave the American flag every 4th of July in the streets of Montreal. Maple syrup, the greatest American food. Banff, the greatest American national park. One united nation under the leadership of our glorious president,
this is a VPN
Drake.
thing.
No longer shall we tolerate our smug neighbors to the north with their affordable insulin and endless comments complaining that I don't talk about Canada enough in my videos. That's right, Canadians. Watch your backs. Sleep with one eye open tonight, because Biden's coming, baby. And this time, he's coming with a vengeance!
Why don't I actually do it? Yeah, but Canada might not have, nuclear weapons, but Canada's allies do. That's just fucked up. I mean, Canada and the US has kind of, after this starting thing, right, the starting wars with Britain and things, in recent century at least, Canada and US has been way too good friends. They, just thinking Canada and US go to war, it just feels weird. Like, really? They're gonna go to war? Come on. Yeah, alright, that was the pig war by the channel OverSimplified. This was a good one, right? OverSimplified has been doing recently big wars, Napoleon and things like that, which is always awesome. But it's like, it's really good to see that he hasn't given up on stupid things like the pig war. He did the emu war and shit like this, smaller things. So this is awesome. Alright, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the Rick Sunday. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards. We'll place the link cards in. Yeah, I'll see you next time.